Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel here at Crypto Nation. Hey, just want to say thanks to all my recently new subscribers. And if you're new, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button for post notifications. Anyways, let's get right onto it. This is going to be a Crypto Nation reacts. Here is the Altcoin Daily. The title is called "Why is Bitcoin Crashing? What comes next?" Just want to get their thoughts and opinions on it. This is a crypto channel that I like to do. My Crypto Nation reacts sometimes. They got like 1.46 million subscribes. Anyways, let's see what they're talking about on here.
Correction. Is this temporary or is this cause for concern? What happens next? Tom Lee updates us on exactly what caused this global financial crash. Listen.
Fundstrat's Tom Lee says it's temporary, a temporary moment of pain and a buy the dip opportunity. He joins me now, Post 9, to make that case. Good to see you again. I'm glad you're here in person, too.
By the way, guys, smash the like button if you appreciate the daily content.
So you don't think that much changed this week?
I think the narrative got muddled because that CPI report was a disappointment, but it was driven by what we'd call stubborn components: shelter, auto insurance. The median core CPI component now has only 1.7% year-over-year inflation. Inflation is normalizing. It's just not evident in the total picture.
So, although inflation is normalizing, CPI numbers were a disappointment due to a select few industry verticals. Well, that's CPI. What about PCE? That's another important economic metric. The bigger question is getting the economy and inflation back on track not as easy as some, like Tom Lee, thought it would be? Let's see what he says.
So the PCE in a couple of weeks is going to be more favorable, we think, than these latest inflation reads. And I know what everybody says about it being the Fed's favored measure on where inflation is. But are you entertaining the idea that this is not going to be as easy as you once thought it was going to be for this last mile, and therefore the market can't do what you once thought it could?
I'd say that that's really the narrative disruption this week, because now the Fed has 3 inflation reports that it can't argue against that are a little hotter than expected.
And the bulls can't really explain them away either, can they?
That's right. So what we would need to see is April and May CPI improvements, which is in the future, and then keeps the Fed from standing in the way of the economy. What we don't want is a Fed that wants to further slow the economy, which is rate hikes. And I think if they just do even one hike this year, it's still actually a good environment for stocks.
One cut, you mean?
Sorry, one cut.
Yeah, let's be clear. See, that's a Freudian slip. Because the greatest fear of all is that they're going to have to hike again, however remote that possibility seems today. And even if you put into the soup, all the Fed commentary that we've gotten of late just seems to be push off rather than push up.
That's right. And I think it's, at the end of the day, it's even as CPI does look like it's somewhat sticky, PCE, as you pointed out, is more cooperative than PPI is, and measures like Truflation show inflation much softer, inflation expectations much lower. So I think at some point we could also just ask, is CPI a bit aberrant?
Okay, so how does Tom Lee think the stock market and financial markets and crypto, how does he think these financial markets play out this year? How does 2024 eventually end?
I'd say that there's upside to earnings. I think multiples can expand. I don't think 5,200 is the ceiling for stocks this year.
What feels like the right ceiling now?
I know this is going to be tough for investors to embrace it, but I think something like 56, 5,700 is probably where the S&P exits the year, maybe even higher.
Much more backloaded into that than you once thought?
I think it's still backloaded because we'll have the cuts behind us, and we'll have visibility into 2025 earnings, which probably could be 270, maybe 280 next year.
Well, when you say we'll have the cuts behind us, are you so sure? Right? So let's just take June off the table. For argument's sake, no June.
Yeah.
You think the first one's in July?
Or it could be September. But
that's why I asked you if the move in the market that you just suggested is backloaded. Because
yes.
You're not going to get a big move until you see the first cut. At this point, now there's a lot of disbelief in the market.
That's right. And Scott, one thing to keep in mind is the probability of a June cut has been reduced, but it can come back if we have a good April and May CPI, because then it's going to put back into focus what is the trend in CPI. It does feel stubborn when you look at January, February, March.
Okay, so Tom is sticking with his bullish outlook on the rest of this year. Remember, this is Tom's Bitcoin price prediction. So far, it's trending in the right direction. Do you think he'll be right?
I think in the next 12 months, something over 100,000, maybe 150,000. And, in the next 5 years, again, there's a finite supply. And now we have a potentially huge increase in demand with a spot Bitcoin approval. So I think in 5 years, something around 500,000 would be potentially achievable.
Remember this, Bitcoin halving is about to happen. Usually, the most bullish price activity doesn't happen until after this. Usually, Bitcoin doesn't break all-time highs until 6 months after this. Usually, it takes 9 to 11 months after this until we see an eventual cycle top. So if history is any indication, we still have 6 to 9 to 11 months of bullish activity. What do you think? Because this cycle does seem a bit different, right? What do industry insiders think? This is Binance's new CEO, Richard Tang. He took over for CZ. He has an insider perspective on what's going on. It's his business to know. Listen to his thoughts on the current state of the crypto market today.
This cycle is a bit different from past cycle. I mean, you have been involved in crypto, so you know. Crypto normally go through 4-year cycle, right? Price movement cycle, which coincide with the halving, which is going to take place in about 9 days' time for Bitcoin. It's normally after about 6 months after a halving that you see a new all-time high in terms of prices. But this time around, it happens even before the halving, right? Which is why it's unique in terms of market cycle. And one of the key reasons is really the introduction of the ETF, where you bring in so many new users, new liquidity, right? I think I saw some figure yesterday that 14 billion net inflows has gone into the crypto ETFs in the States, right? So those are important numbers, but it's still very early days because that is just the first.
Well, I was going to say, of course, the cycle is different. Of course, the cycle is different. We got the institutions are in the market now. You know what I mean? We got the institutions in the market, so of course, this cycle is going to be somewhat different. Every cycle wasn't really the same. If you look at the historical data on Bitcoin and the crypto market, so yeah, we know the Bitcoin halving is coming up next week. So, and then, like I said, I think now this bull run is going to last until they're saying now until the summer of 2025. So this bull run is going to be, it's going to be lit.
Part of it. With that, there'll be much more financial innovation, there'll be more product structuring that you come through. You see a lot more independent houses now being able to advise and their clients to do some allocation into crypto. The foundations, the endowments are going to come through. On our side, we see a lot of TradFi firms, right? The traditional trading firms, now adding crypto as an additional asset class into their suite of products that they trade constantly on a daily basis, and we start to serve them as well, right? So those will bring in new liquidity pools into this industry. So those are key positives, and we are very bullish, right, of the way forward. But we are still in the building stage, so we look forward to working closely with the rest to build this industry together.
So where does the Binance CEO think Bitcoin's price is going? The interviewer really pushes him here. The interviewer asks Richard about the 100K price target. To me, it seems like Richard Tang thinks Bitcoin is going a lot higher. What do you think?
Many have told us this year Bitcoin will hit 100,000.
Well, there are different financial projections. I mean, if you look at the Standard Chartered projection, is what, 200,000 or 250,000 by next year, right? So you have seen price point of 100, I've seen price point of 120. So all these are financial projections. What's important is we always stress to our users, do your own research, right? Just don't be led by others. Don't just hearsay from your friends, from people that think they're in the know. Do your own research, use your own money, be prudent with them, invest responsibly.
Do you have a price in your head this year?
I have a price, but I think it will exceed my price.
In your own opinion, what is it?
My price last year, before the introduction of the ETF, I didn't see the impact of the ETF. My price last year is I would have thought Bitcoin will end at about 80,000 this year. but I've revised my price upwards slightly because of the inflow that I'm seeing. So,
By the way, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Daily videos just like this, keeping you informed on the entire cryptocurrency market. If you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency, subscribe to our channel, Daily Videos.
All right. So that's my update. Sorry about that. I just got distracted. But yeah, tell me what you think, man, about this recent crash. Like you said, this cycle, this preseason is already over. We already know why this market is, it crashed pre bull run. We already know why it crashed pre bull run. But yeah, guys, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button for post notifications. Also, I just want to also say that if my Cash App and PayPal will be in the description. And yeah, also if you can get the channel membership, because I do private I drop private content for the channel members where you can see my portfolio and everything. We could just share ideas. But yeah, guys, let's get ready. Let's buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride over the next few months. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.